What's up, beautiful people? My name is Salman, and in this video, we're gonna exactly step-by-step cover how you are going to turn into a profitable day trader coming into 2025, right? So we really have four things we're gonna cover essentially overall in this video. Number one is gonna be strategy. Number two is gonna be risk. Number three is gonna be emotions, how to deal with them. Number four is gonna be scaling, right? A lot of people don't talk about this topic. I don't know why, but essentially scaling is probably one of the most important topics to talk about in trading, and people don't talk about it, right? So we're gonna cover all that good stuff in this video. Make sure to stay tuned and be very, very, very attentive during this video, right? I know it's hard because short form content has got us all scrolling. It's hard to kind of stick through a whole video, but I promise you at the end of this video, you will leave with a ton of value that will allow you to become profitable in 2025, right? So before we get into anything, I'm gonna leave all my social links down below as well as the Discord. So please, I recommend you following all my socials because of the fact that it will allow you to get more context on how to become a better trader through all those social medias, right? So going into number one is strategy, right? What is strategy? Why do we need it, right? And then as well as what's the best strategy to trade, right? Strategy is really important because it's the overall edge that you have over the marketplace, right? The most important aspect of trading, if you don't have a good strategy, you can't win, right? So, and the only thing that you need to focus on with strategy is how to overall improve the strategy, right? Imagine the strategy like a sword. You need to constantly sharpen your sword in order to basically have the sharpest sword possible. In this case, it would be your strategy, right? So with strategy, what I personally trade and how I trade my specific strategy is going to be a liquidity sweep involved in the right time. So a lot of people don't talk about time and price. And they're kind of like yin and yang. They work in together and they work in pairs, right? So you need both in order to actually have a good strategy over the marketplace, right? The way that you get a good strategy is by learning from people who actually know what they're talking about, right? I'm gonna leave the Discord in the link bio. If you don't have a good strategy, I recommend joining the Discord. We have over, I believe, 50 hours of content now, specifically around the basis of showing you the exact strategy. One of our students just got funded and we are at 260 members so far. So strategy. My personal strategy, high time frame, then to low time frame. So to actually get the higher kind of time frame picture before then going on lower time frames to get an entry. And then what I look for specifically for those entries is a liquidity sweep, a break of structure, retrace into a fair value gap, and then any other confluences, right? So another concept I teach is SMT, as well as PXH, PXL, which if you don't know what that is, that's previous time frame high, previous time frame low, using that kind of as a metric to see if price is going to go higher or lower, and then as well as time. Time is probably the most important thing, and what I look for time specifically is macros, right? So what a macro is essentially a time frame in the marketplace where specifically the price of the actual asset that you're trading will spool higher or lower because it's in that specific time, right? The whole institutional market of, let's say, CME, for example, NASDAQ and ES, they work on an algorithm, and the algorithm has specific times of the day where it's most high probability to spool to a location that's clear, for example, liquidity, right? So that's essentially what I teach in my Discord. It's very effective. Right now, year to date, I'm at a 78% win percentage. Very, very effective strategy. I'm going to continuously post YouTube videos, so if you don't want to join the Discord, make sure to subscribe and attend to all those videos so you can actually sharpen your strategy, right? So in summary, strategy-wise, high time frame, then to low time frame to get the analysis, and then as well as a liquidity sweep, break of structure, retrace into a fair value gap, and then on top of that, looking for SMT in that permitted macro time to actually trade, right? So that covers strategy. That's my strategy specifically. I'm gonna post a video right after this and actually dive into the charts and show you prime examples of my strategy specifically, so you guys can get a better gist of that, right? Number two is gonna be risk, right? How much should I be risking per trade? And how do I know I'm risking the proper amount, right? Because this is the thing people do not talk about. And you need to become a professional at analyzing how much you are risking, right? Because if you're over leveraging, you're gonna blow your account really fast. And if you're under leveraging, you're never gonna make money, right? So what's the proper amount of risk per account size, right? So majority of you will cover 50K account size on a funded account. 50K account size in terms of risk, the maximum you should be trading, and this is applicable to all account sizes, is 2 times a day, right? 2 times a day, 2 bullets a day is the maximum you should be trading, right? So the first trade on a 50K account size specifically, you're gonna wanna trade one mini contract, right? One mini contract on NASDAQ or one contract on ES, right? So if you win that trade, this is my risk protocol. If you win that trade, there are no other trades for the day. You step away and you come back tomorrow, right? You've made your profit, that's it. If you lose that trade, you have one opportunity to trade again, but at half contract sizing, right? So, for example, you're trading 1 mini, you lose that trade, then you go to 5 micros. You lose that trade, you're done. You win that trade, you're done, right? So what that kind of looks like on the actual whiteboard, we're gonna cover that. So risk, right? We have 50K account size. First trade, lose. Second trade, 50% sizing, right? So 5 micros, right? My handwriting is horseshit, so excuse the horseshit handwriting, but risk, 50K account size, you take one trade with one contract, if you lose that, then you go to the second trade at 50% with 5 micros, right? If you win this trade, you're done. If you lose this trade, you go here, and no matter the outcome of this trade, you're still done for the day. You need to protect yourself in order to actually prosper and have longevity in this game of trading. If you do more than this, you're gonna go on a tangent and blow your account. I guarantee it. I guarantee you. And the biggest thing on why people aren't profitable today is because of the fact that they can't control their mind. You can't control your mind, and that's what's leading you to overtrade and then eventually blow your account. So you need this as your protocol in order to actually have longevity in trading. If you do not have this, you are going to fail, I promise you, no matter the contract sizing. My specific contract sizing right now is anywhere from 8 to 15 minis because I'm trading on a live account, right? There's no threshold or anything like that, so I can risk more, right? So what my protocol is the first trade is roughly 8 to 15 minis, depending on how much I like that setup. Then the second trade is anywhere from 7.5 to 4 minis, right? And no matter the circumstances, I end up being done for the day. After this trade or after this trade, the second trade or the first trade. If I win the first trade, I'm done for the day. If I lose it, I go half sizing. And if I lose this trade, I'm done. If I win this trade, I'm done, right? That's what you need. Don't let anyone tell you anything else. Stop scalping. Stop doing all that. Look for 30 to 50 points every single day. That's a realistic amount to actually look for. And with your proper sizing, you can make a lot of money. Off of one contract, right? 30 points is roughly $600. I don't know where you are from. No matter where you are from, $600 times 30 days is $9K a month. No matter where you are from, if you're in the age group of 18 to 25, $9K a month is very good money. Let's call it $10K a month, right? 30 to 50 points. 50 points is $1,000 a day, times by, let's say, 20 days out of the month, trading days out of the month. That's $20,000 a month that you can make off of one contract, right? Obviously, you're not going to be able to capture 50 points every single day, but let's say hypothetically you can. That's still 20K. And let's say hypothetically you can't catch 50 points and we're factoring in losses. That's still, let's say you have a 50% win rate, that's still 10K a month off of one contract, right? Don't let anyone tell you that you need to trade heavy size, right? Now I'm at the point of making anywhere from 30 to 50K a month, and I have been sizing up recently because I want to start hitting 6-figure months with trading. But in the start, in order to gain my confidence, this is how I did it. This is the exact protocol you need to actually prosper in trading and have longevity in trading, right? Do not let anyone tell you that you need to trade 4 contracts, 5 contracts, and don't allow your mind to say that it's okay to trade that many contracts starting off. Obviously, it's dependent on how far you are in your journey. If you are already profitable, then you should be listening to the scaling protocol and not the risk protocol because you already know what you're doing, right? But if you are unprofitable, this should be your risk protocol until you are profitable. Then you change your mind on how many contracts you should be trading, right? And the best part, in this protocol, you still make a very good amount of money. You still make above 6 figures a year with this exact protocol. So why would you do anything else, right? If you size down now, you getting to the desired outcome of how fast you want it to actually take will be 3 to 5 times faster versus if you size up. In the beginning stages, I used to size up and I would constantly blow my accounts, and it took me so much longer to become profitable just because my ego was in the way, right? My ego was telling me I need to trade more contracts. And then from there, I kept blowing accounts. So what you need to do as an individual and as a trader, you need to size down and follow this protocol in order to become profitable. And I promise you, if you follow this protocol, it'll solve 90% of your trading issues, right? Because you know you only have 2 trades a day, so you're not going to be over trading. You're not going to be looking to enter in every position. And then on the back end, you're also going to have confidence in yourself because you know, hey, this is the maximum I can lose for today. And if I lose it, it's okay. And you become accustomed to that loss. If it happens, great, you go about your day. If it doesn't happen, great, you go about your day, right? Trading is black and white. You either lose or you win, right? No one gives a fuck about the middle. No one cares about, oh, I lost because I didn't see this and that and that. Obviously, you need to journal that for your own self, but in order to become profitable, no one gives a fuck, right? Just focus on yourself, focus on trading one contract. Stop posting on TikTok about your trades and your overview until you are profitable. And from then, if you want to grow your brand, you want to grow your business, specifically when you're profitable and you can actually teach, then do it. Until then, no one gives a fuck about your journey. Stop posting on TikTok and stop posting everywhere about, hey, look, I caught this trade with one contract. Like, bro, come on, bro. You have shit to do. You need to actually perfect the skill before you start telling other people what you're doing. There's a thing called evil eye. People evil eye you. People don't like what you're doing and they don't want you to succeed. So that being the case, in your current stage, you're very fragile and you cannot be posting and splattering everywhere that you are taking a one contract trade and you made $1,000 on it. No one gives a fuck. I promise you no one gives a fuck. Until you are profitable, until you can actually show proof you're profitable, don't be posting anything, right? Number 3 is gonna be emotions. So during emotions, how to overcome emotions and how to have full self-control over yourself, right? So with emotions specifically, you need to have a very strict protocol around emotions and how you think, right? And for example, one thing I would say is every day that you wake up and you trade, get TradeZella, the platform that allows you to journal yourself and your trades, and mark out what you see pre-market before you even enter a position. Because this gives you a clear mind on what you're anticipating is going to happen in the marketplace before it actually happens, right? And you journaled it before what you saw, and then after actually journal what actually happened, right? So how close were you to the pre-market notes, right? And emotions, and this is a very difficult one to talk about because there's so many different emotions that come into place, right? You have over trading, over leveraging, you have limiting self-control in terms of actually clicking the button, you have fear, right? So in order to handle each one of these, you need experience and time, right? Because of the fact that you'll learn off of your mistakes on how to handle your actual emotions, right? For example, you sit down, you over leverage, you over trade, you end up blowing your account. That was a lesson, right? It wasn't necessarily a bad or negative thing, but it was a lesson in which it taught you how to handle yourself better, right? Because now you go into the marketplace and you're like, okay, I over leveraged, I over traded. Now going into my next funded account, I'm not going to do that because of the fact that I know how I felt and I know how shit I felt after I did that, right? So that's how to handle emotions specifically, is just taking the loss and letting the emotions play out, and then after analyzing how those emotions made you feel, right? So if you go into TradeZella and you journal down, make a list of all the emotions that you feel typically, right? So like, for example, you lose a trade, you go on tilt, write down descriptively what you felt specifically on those emotions when you felt them, right? When you lost that trade and you went on tilt, write down specifically what you felt and why you felt it. And then analyze that, read it over 3 times and say, okay, I felt this way because of X, Y, and Z. Maybe your parents are yelling at you because you're trading. Maybe your parents are telling you to go back to college or lock into school, whatever. And that's what caused that tilt, because you wanted to make money to prove to your parents that this isn't bullshit. You need to remove that out of your life, right? Those are negative things, and you don't psychologically analyze these things. And it's so important in order to actually become prosperous with day trading, right? You need to analyze these things as a professional. You're a professional day trader, and you need to analyze what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right and how you can improve yourself every single day, right? So that being said, that's how you handle emotions. You journal your emotions, journal how you feel, and then from there, use that as a lesson, right? If I came to you and I was like, hey, individual viewer, you got to study for this test, but I'm not going to give you any notes. You just have to figure it the fuck out. You'd be like, what? If I was your teacher, you'd be like, what the fuck, right? So how do you expect to become profitable without any notes? How do you expect to study for the test being becoming profitable, without any notes, right? You need fucking notes. So how you do that, you take the loss, you journal what you felt and journal how you felt, and then from there, you analyze that and study it. Study why you felt that certain way, and then from there, apply it and fix that sword, sharpen your sword of trading, right? So that's emotions, pretty much it. Now scaling, last topic that we're gonna talk about, scaling. What should be your scaling protocol? Once you start becoming profitable, once you start seeing profits, how should you scale, right? So what I like talking about is once you have a funded account and you have, obviously depending on the account size, I would say for 50K, it should be a 3K buffer. For 100K, it should be a 5K buffer. 150K, I would say a 6 to 8K buffer. And then anything above that, just add on a couple $2,000 to $3,000, right? Once you're in that buffer range, then you can increase sizing. Until then, focus on getting that buffer, right? Because of the fact, obviously it's dependent on your financial situation. If your financial situation is fucked right now, I would say don't even focus on scaling. Get a baseline of capital in your bank account. Get $10, $15, $20,000 in your bank account before you focus on scaling in your scaling protocol. But let's say you are there and you are actually there already and you have that buffer. Then from there, once you have that buffer, what you're gonna wanna do is for every 3 to 4 to 5K, depending on your account size, add a contract, right? And obviously cap yourself out at some extent. Don't be trading 15 mini contracts until you have extreme experience and you know what you're doing every single day. But until then, add on 1 contract per 3K that you have profit and buffer, right? So if you have a 50K account size, you're at 3K profit now trade 2 contracts and 2 minis, right? Then you get to 6K, so now you're at 56K. Add on, now you're at 3 contracts, 3 minis. Now let's say you're at 60K. Now trade 4 contracts, right? And continuously scale until the point of you're comfortable with how much money you're making, right? You don't need to make $100,000 a day. I don't know, like YouTube has put this in your mind and TikTok and has put this in your mind where you now want to copy TJR trades that makes 20, 30, 40, 50K a trade. And that's not how you properly trade. Don't associate yourself and your journey with other people's journeys because you're focusing on chapter 1 right now and they're on chapter 30, right? So don't try to replicate what they are doing. Focus on your own journey and focus specifically on what they are not doing. Remove them from your life. That's another thing. Get off social media, right? You want to become profitable faster? Get off social media. It gives you the unrealistic expectation on what you should be anticipating for your trading journey. You can make a lot of money very fast trading if you actually focus. But if you're on social media constantly scrolling, looking at other people's profits, you're going to start getting FOMO and then that's going to correlate psychologically into the charts. So don't do that. Focus on yourself. And from there, I promise you, you'll scale really fucking fast. Trading is the fastest and the most scalable business model on the planet, hands down. That's why so many people are attracted to it. So the way that you scale per 3K in your funded account, add on 1 contract size, dependent on until you are comfortable with how much profit you are making. So 53K, add on another contract. Now you're trading 2 contracts. Now if you catch 50 points, that's now $2,000, right? And now you just make 2,000, right? And then you make 2,000 again. Now let's say you're at 56K, you add on 3 contracts. 3 contracts, 50 points is 3K profit now. Now you can make 3K in a day. Then let's say you get to 60K. Now you can trade 4 contracts, right? Now that's $4,500 every 50 points, right? And then let's say you make $4,500. Now you're at 65K. Now you trade 5 contracts. That's $100 per dollar of movement on NASDAQ. And let's say you trade 50 points. That's now 5K day. It takes 4 to 5 trades to scale properly, right? It's as simple as that, right? And in terms of risk, going back to risk, your average stop loss should be no more than 10 to 15 points. I don't care who's telling you anything, you should not be trading a 30, 40, 50 point stop loss. I don't know what rubbish or who put that into people's minds. Do not trade that high of points. Starting off, if you're an early trader, maximum I would say is 25 points. If price goes above 25 points in your trade, that is an invalid trade. You should have not entered that in that position, right? So that's the 4 steps that you are going to take as an individual to become profitable in 2025. If you guys enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate if you subscribe and like and comment. If you guys have any questions specifically on more videos you guys want to see from me, I would love to have topics actually published specifically around the basis of you guys having individual questions. So really would love for you guys to be in the Discord as well. We have a 50% off sale right now. So if you guys want to learn from someone who actually knows what the fuck they are doing, I would love to have you guys in there and I would love to be your mentor. So I love you guys. I'll see you all in the next video. Make sure to like, subscribe.